everybody, it's Rebecca here at Y Mermaids, and today is time for my January-February book haul. I haven't done a book haul since the December book haul because I promised to myself this year that I would buy less books because I spent way too much money last year on books that I didn't read. So this year I made the promise, and you can see this, like I talked about it in my goals for 2016, and also my last book haul. I talked about how I was gonna buy books unless I really loved the book or unless they were by authors that I love, like auto-buy authors, which I have a couple of. So I did that for pretty much the most part this month, or these last 2 months, and I've already read almost all of these, well, about half of them as well. So let's just get into what I got over the last 2 months in 2016. First up, I bought like 4 books, I think, from Barnes & Noble. I had a gift card from Christmas, and I also it was Teacher Appreciation Week, so I bought most of these for like 15% off and all that kind of goodness. Also, most of them for free, because gift cards, so saving money is always the best. And the first thing that I got was the Lumatere Chronicles by Melina Marchetta, which is Finnikin of the Rock, Froi of the Exiles, and Quintana of Charyn, or Quintana of Charyn. I think it's K, but I like saying Quinn instead of Keen. I don't know why, it's just how I read it. I read all of these books in the course of pretty much January and February. I started reading them, and I absolutely fell in love with this book series, like completely, utterly, just devastatingly in love with it. So I wanted to have them on my shelf for future rereads because I did love them so much, which is why I picked them up. I really love them. I love them. And if you want more information, I do talk about these in the monthly recommendations fantasy video that I did, so you can find out more information there. On that same shopping spree, I also picked up The Art of Neil Gaiman, which is by Hayley Campbell, but it's basically like, it's beautiful. It's Neil Gaiman he's one of my favorite authors, as we know. I did the Year of Gaiman last year, and this is all, like, he also does graphic novels and whatnot, so this is art that inspired that was inspired by all of his works, and I think it is just beautiful and such a great companion to my Gaiman stack that I really can't wait to just pour through this. It's so cool. It's really, really, really cool. Speaking of Neil Gaiman, again, he's one of my auto-buy authors. I did Year of Gaiman last year, and I bought all of those wonderful, beautiful matching covers for all of them, and I wanted to own pretty much all of that entire collection. And so he has some short story collections that are also in that same format, and so I wanted to pick them up, and they're hard to find at local bookstores, so when I saw them at one of my local Barnes & Nobles, I picked up Fragile Things and Smoke and Mirrors. So again, I really love this, like, the style that these are all done in, and they match the ones on my shelves already. So I have not read these yet. These are 2 of the ones I haven't read. But they are short story collections, and I do love Gaiman, so I will be reading these this year, probably throughout the year, like short story here, short story there, but we'll see. I might just pick them up one day and pour through it. We'll see what happens. I was sent 2 books for review from the author this month, which is really exciting. That's never happened to me before, so I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. And I don't always accept them. I only accept the ones that I find that I think I'm gonna really enjoy, and ones that sound really interesting and kind of right in my alley, so I don't just take them all the time. I'm very choosy with what I decide to get sent to me, and so I did pick 2 this month. And the first one is Risuko by David Kudler. This is about a girl in Japan who is kind of a reluctant hero type of character, but I really love Japanese culture. I love this cover, it's very beautiful. And the description of it just sounded really interesting, about this girl who loves to climb trees, but the fate of Japan ends up on her shoulders, and I thought that sounded really cool. So I will be doing a full review of this when I read it, hopefully this coming month, so you can look for that hopefully later on this month on this channel. The other one I was sent for review is The 52nd by Dela. Comes with a bookmark. And this one, it has more of an Aztecian or Aztec culture behind it, which again, I love different types of culture books, which is part of the reason why I accepted both of these, just because they were not your standard book. They have influences from other cultures, and so this one has Aztec influences, and it's basically there's sacrifices that are happening to the underworld, and this girl and this boy, I think, have to kind of put an end to this or something. I'm not quite sure. Again, I haven't read it yet, but when I do read it, expect a full review on the channel for your enjoyment. Plus, again, beautiful cover that my cat sat on and twisted, but that's okay. And now we're down to the 2 books that I pre-ordered some time ago, and I was super excited about them because and the first one is obviously Morning Star by Pierce Brown. I've talked about this so much in the last few weeks on my channel that I really think that people are gonna start boycotting me because of how much I love it, but I don't know, we'll find out. So I'm not gonna go into details, but it's the 3rd book in the Red Rising trilogy by Pierce Brown, which is one of my new favorite series trilogies of all time. And if you haven't read it yet, I have lots of videos, I have reviews, I have like a fan cast for the first book, I have 5 reasons why you should read it, I have lots of things, so yeah, you can check out all of those videos, plus I did do a rant and rave for this one specifically, but don't watch it unless you have read it because it is spoiler heavy, like all over the place. And the last book that I picked up in the last 2 months, but really it was like last week, and it was another pre-order, and that is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the 2nd book in the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, which I loved. I read the first one, I read A Darker Shade of Magic last year, and so immediately as soon as I saw this came up, I was like, I want it now. I have not read this one yet, but I am about to start it probably today when you're watching this, because I have Oscars all day today when I'm filming this, which is Sunday, and I still have 3 movies to watch before the Oscar ceremony because I like to watch them all. And again, I did a Best Picture tag where I talked about it, but anyway, yeah, so Gathering of Shadows I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to just dive into it. So this is the next one that I'm reading. Well, that is it for my January-February 2016 book haul, the first one of the year, and this is doing pretty well here, considering I got most of these for very cheap / free, and the other ones were pre-orders, except for the 2 Neil Gaiman books, basically. So I'm very excited about this. I'm off to a good start with my goal for the year, which is to buy less books. Doing pretty well. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought about them. Let's have a chat in the discussions if you're excited about those 2 arcs that I got sent. I'm excited about the 2 arcs that I got sent, let's be honest. Let me know what you picked up in the months of January and February, and that is it for me today. I'll see you next time.